Hey everybody, welcome to our first edition of Community Corner. I'm Amy Caldwell with Palmer House Properties, and I'm here with my good friend Chuck Cogliandro. Oh, and I did the G.
Sorry.
Cogliandro with Kumandi Drums and Healing. I've known Chuck for about a year, and I've been doing his drumming class. He's one of those really lucky, special people that's able to take what he loves to do and transfer it into his work. And it just really shows in his classes how much he loves it, and it just brings joy to all of us. So I'm really excited for him to share a bit about himself and what he does with all of you. So thank you for joining me, Chuck.
Thanks for inviting me, Amy. I appreciate it.
So tell people that don't know exactly, what is a Kumandi drum?
Kumandi Drums is the name of my business. I chose the name Kumandi from the Malinke language. Malinke is a language that's spoken in West African countries where the drum that I play originates. And it's a word that means to call, to invite, or to sound.
Wow.
And to me, that's what the drums do. They're all about bringing people together to celebrate.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so cool. So how did you get introduced to the Kumandi drum?
So I started playing drum set where I grew up in Detroit and moved here to Atlanta in 1992 and heard on the radio about an African drumming workshop at Ebster Community Center in Decatur. And so I went thinking it was more of a drum circle situation. I took a cowbell and a tambourine, not knowing anything else.
Yeah.
And it was actually an African dance class with live drumming.
Oh, wow.
And the energy of it just woke up something in me that I didn't even know I had. It was like some part of my soul that was waiting to come to life.
Kind of classes? I mean, I know what class I take, but I know that's just like a fraction of what you do.
Yeah, so I teach traditional West African music the way that my teachers shared it with me. And I try to pass it on with respect and honor the way it was shared with me. So this is music from the Maninka people of West Africa. It's many centuries old, and every rhythm has a purpose, some aspect of life, whether it's tied to nature, whether it's tied to important life passage experiences, like when a baby's born, there's a baby naming ceremony. So there are dances and songs and rhythms that go with that occasion. When young people are initiated from youth to adulthood, there are important ceremonies that they go through. Weddings, of course, are big celebrations. The farmers have their own rhythms and songs. The blacksmiths have their own music. The women have songs just for themselves. So the music is all connected to some aspect of life, some aspect of culture.
So I know our class runs 6 weeks, and we learn one song per class. So you have another class that is more continuous, right?
Right. So I've been leading a community group in Marietta called the Emerson Drummers. It's based in the Emerson Unitarian Universalist congregation for 26 years now. We had our 26th anniversary this fall. There many folks have come into the group and then gone on, but there are a couple folks that have been there since the beginning. I've been the musical director since the beginning, and that group does have a repertoire of 8 or 10 pieces, and we do go out and do performances. We do benefits for things like the Atlanta Community Food Bank. Every spring they have the Hunger Walk, and that's one of our favorite gigs because 10,000 people walk past us on the street, and we always get a free t-shirt. So all of us have this collection of Hunger Walk t-shirts from every year. We've drummed for the Breast Cancer Walk. We've drummed for the AIDS Walk. And we've drummed for people's parties. We have another performance at a different Unitarian church in Dahlonega this weekend. We perform at art and music festivals, lots of schools, all kinds of occasions.
Yeah. So one other thing that I'm really interested in, and I know we don't have time to like delve deep, but you're Kumandi drumming and healing. Can you explain a little bit of the healing component with the Kumandi drumming?
Yeah, sure. I don't know what the first kind of special population was that I worked with, but I've worked at schools that help kids who have dyslexia or autism or ADHD or, speech and language delays, things like that. I've worked in addiction recovery centers. I'm currently working at Ridgeview Psychiatric Institute in Smyrna with a number of different populations there, both youth and adult. So there's something about rhythm that I can share And what I think it provides is a cohering principle, an organizing principle, where there is something both very stable and regular and repetitive that people can join, but there's also something joyous and uplifting and creative.
Yeah.
Because once you learn a particular rhythm pattern, you can then learn a counter rhythm to go with it. And it takes some practice and some skill and some ability to be able to hold your rhythm or the musical phrase that you're playing while someone nearby you is playing something different but related.
Right.
And so to hold one pattern, most people can do that. But then to be able to be in that environment with the other pattern, it's almost like a life skill, the way I see it. It's like, how can I say what I want to say, but also leave space for someone else to say what they're saying, even though it's different? How can I expand my hearing to be who I am, to say what I want to say, what I need to say, but also at the same time honor and respect that they have something different to say, and that we can not only both like coexist in the same space, but actually make it be musical and enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I think that's the aspect that really draws people in. It's this polyrhythmic aspect of West African drumming, to where at first you think I'm playing my part and I'm good and I got it steady and I'm going, I got it going on. And then the counter rhythm comes in.
Yeah.
And usually people's first response is, don't do that. Like, that's thrown me off, right?
Right.
Like, I think
Yeah.
you've experienced that, and
Yeah.
most folks in the class. With practice and getting used to it, you actually, to me, what happens is you expand your consciousness.
Yeah.
You actually create a larger container to where you're able to hear more, you're able to perceive more, you're able to hold more.
Yeah.
And I think there's actual conflict resolution principles in that.
Really. Thank you so much, Chuck, for sitting down and talking to me. And, I know some about your business, but now I know a whole lot more. And I know we've just kind of hit the tip of the iceberg. So I would love to dig deeper. And, I know everybody else would probably learn a little bit more too. So, once again, I'm Amy Caldwell. I'm a real estate agent with Palmer House Properties. Sitting here with my friend Chuck Cogliandro, got it right? That's with Kumandi Drums. If you would like for me to feature your business on my site, just reach out to me at parkbench.com/Toco Hills, and I would love to hear from you. And Chuck, how can people reach out to you?
My website, kumandi.com. That's K-U-M like Mary, A-N like Nancy, D like David, I.com, kumandi.com.
And I know the class that I go to in our area is over at Shallowford Church. It's not through the church, but it's just the space that we use there. And that's Thursdays from 7 to 8:30. So, and it's a great class.
Thanks so much, Amy. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us.